thanks to May for being with us. I know everyone on the call is within our Aspiring Women Speakers group, so you obviously know my thoughts on May. May, we introduced you. Dom and I are sort of in your fan club this end after the last presentation that you gave. So everyone knows about you here, but for the benefit of anyone watching this afterwards who maybe doesn't come from, who doesn't have that, May spoke to us earlier in the year at the LJC, gave an online presentation, and it was very unique. She had a very, very different style, and I think it could be quite inspiring to future speakers. So we wanted to get her back to share some pearls of wisdom. So it's a round table. So if anyone has any questions, then you are always free to jump in and get involved. I've got some questions to go through from my side, but I'd be much happier with everyone else asking and me not getting through them. So in fact, I'll begin then with that. Does anyone have any burning questions? Anything that they want to kick off with? So, okay, no, good. All right, fine. So May, I'll start things off then. Tell me what got you started with your speaking initially? What was the initial kind of catalyst that led to this journey?
So actually, first of all, I have to say that I'm excited to be here, and thank you all for joining. I'm honored, truly, and I'm happy to see all of your faces, and even those who doesn't have their faces on, I'm happy that you're here. So actually, I started because I joined a Facebook group of like women in tech in Israel, and they had this program of aspiring speakers. And I've never done a talk before, because everyone starts with something, right? And I was like, sounds like something I can do. I don't know. I didn't even think about it too much. I didn't even think I'll get into a conference. You know, I was like, oh, let's meet some people, maybe. I don't know. Didn't have an actual thought about it. And I signed up, and I got two amazing mentors. And then there was a huge conference in Israel. That this is like the most famous code conference in Israel, the most like serious one, if you'd call it like this, you know what I mean? Like they're all, you know, they like so serious that it's, you know, it's all like tracks, and it's everything is very, very like not, there aren't like aspiring like you know, aspiration talks, I guess. It's everything is very techy. So that's what I got from it. Like that's what I thought about it, and I was like, well, I don't know if I will fit in. What can I say? I have nothing to talk about, because I just graduated like a year before I started that, and I was like, I'm such a junior. What do I know that other people don't? And I talked about it with my mentors, and they said, well, tell us about some projects that you've done. They just started interrogating me, right? So they were like, tell us about your projects. Tell us about how was it to learn things? How was it to do this? How was it to do that? And we started talking, and I told them about my project that I did for college. And then I also told them, well, I actually did this project again after I graduated, because I felt that the one that I did in college wasn't as good. So I just kept on working on it. And then they said, that's it, boom, that's going to be your talk. Just explain what you did. And this was my first talk, and I signed to that conference, and they sent me a message from the conference that they said, listen, you don't have any background in talking, because we couldn't find you online anywhere, but we are willing to give you like, you know, this opportunity because your talk sounds interesting. Can you send us a short video of yourself explaining about the talk? And I was so shocked. I recorded bazillion times a 1 minute. I had like, you know, 1 minute of myself talking bazillion times. I cannot tell you. I've had it all script, and I was so stressed, and I didn't send it. And then I told my mentors, hey, I forgot to send the videos. And they were like, you can't lie to us, because that's not nice. There's no way you forgot. Nobody forgets about something like that. And I said, well, maybe I just forgot. I don't know. And anyway, they made me do it, and they supported me, and I got in, and I went and I did this talk, and I stood there, junior, in front of all of these serious people, and then I found out that they are okay. Like, I was serious too because I was there. What does serious even mean? And that's it. That's the story of my first talk. It was awesome, and my mentors were amazing. And ever since, I tried to be a mentor myself. I mean, I am a mentor myself, and I always volunteer as much as I can to help others. That's it.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, and we've got Rosie just joining us now. Yeah, there's so many questions that I've got off the back of that. So just to get the timeline straight, you signed up to the group, this Aspiring Speakers group. Just there, in fact, why did you sign up? So I tell a lot of people about this group. Obviously, you're here with maybe the 1% of people that say okay, but a lot of people don't sign up. What made you sign up?
I just wanted to meet more women from this field. Like, I wanted to meet more women and to have more contacts, because I felt like I came from where I went to college. There were like mostly men, and they're all my friends. I got nothing against them, right? But at some point I just found out that there's something cool about talking with other women who understands what it's like to be in a room with like 30 other men. It's just you and them, and it's just a meeting, they all feel comfortable. And for me, it's still kind of weird always. And then when I started talking with these other women, and I wanted more of these encounters, so I just signed up just to meet other women. I'm telling you, I didn't even think I'll get in. I didn't even think I'll actually go on stage. And I haven't stopped ever since. Like, I love that. It's like, I think I'm addicted to going to conferences, meeting new people, being on stage. I love it so much. And, the amount of connections that I got from it, it's hysterical. So what I do ever since is when I tell other people about those women's aspiring speakers group, I tell them that it just changed my life in so many aspects that I can't even start. I can talk about it forever, and just try. What's the worst that could happen, right? Like,
amazing. And we do hear this quite often. I love that you were pushed into it by these mentors, and I love the fact that you tried to lie your way out of it as well and say, oh, I forgot, I don't know. That's brilliant. As you're talking about that, I know I've got Mag's got her hand up, and I'm going to let you ask your question in a minute, Mag. That's who I'm thinking of when I'm hearing about your mentors, about May's mentors, is you bullying people into getting their talk and send it across. Mag, go on. I'll ask you a question. What do you want to ask?
Cool. Hi, May. My name is Mag, and it's lovely to hear about your journey so far. And one of the themes I think that a lot of new speakers, including myself, have to deal with at the start is how to be themselves on stage. You talked about being serious, and you were at this serious conference, and you felt you were young and junior, but then you seem really you. And how did you sort of be authentic on stage? What through the millions of recordings came out for you to help you to be who you really are on stage and have your personality?
So I love this question because it's actually a journey that I had to go through, and it's the same journey that I had to go through with job interviews. That's, for me, it's the same. Like, I was as stressed, if not more, from job interviews than going on stage. I don't even know why. Maybe this one-on-one encounters, it made me more stressed, but for me it was the same feeling, being on the spot, being questioned, trying to appear as professional as I can. What do I do to look professional? So when I just started, what I did is, so when I just started going to job interviews, I had one pair of black pants and a black t-shirt that I bought for it. And I thought that I will go with that. I was like, I'll go with the interview outfit to to the conference. I was like, I have the interview, because usually I have dresses, like I go with, like, this is a dress right now over here. So I usually go with dresses and skirts and nothing that is, okay, I want to say it's not too crazy, but depends who you ask, I guess. So, but yeah, so I have that black outfit, this is what I perceived as serious. And I said this to my friends and to my mentors, and they said, well, why don't you go somewhere in the middle? Just wear like maybe a navy dress or maybe like a black dress, but like don't take out the dress thing, because this is you. And they really pushed me into it. And I was so scared. I said, who will think that they should listen to me if I'm on stage wearing a skirt? I don't even know why. Maybe because I don't know. That's what I felt when I went to job interviews. And when I went with a skirt, one time an interviewer said like, "Oh, you're so cute." And I'm like, that's weird and disgusting. And I was like, maybe I should wear black pants and he won't think I'm cute, because I'm not cute. I'm a professional. Leave me alone. Like, it's weird, So, but then they really pushed me into it. And they said that it's important, like beyond for this talk, they said that it's important that somebody that usually wears dresses will continue to do so on stage. So it started like this. And then I went like crazy with it. I was like, okay, so if I'm going to be on stage with a black skirt, then you know what I have to do? I'm going to have to wear those R2D2 crazy shiny heels. I have to. I mean, I can't, because
Absolutely.
So I started going with the R2. It's like super shiny. You know what? I'm going to get those. You're gonna wait, because it's right here, and I want to show you. I have to. You're gonna wait.
Great. We're waiting. And even like on this topic, look at everything behind me. It's so full of her personality, I imagine. And I think that's really cool.
Absolutely. I did warn you, by the way, for all this.
You did warn us. Has anyone else got crazy heels in this group?
I wish I could walk in those.
No.
Yeah, I can't walk in them either.
No.
My heels
I would
are too
fall over
shallow.
and die.
Oh dear.
Look at that. It's so shiny. It's like crazy shiny R2D2 heels.
Wow.
And
At what point did you start wearing these?
On the very first talk that I ever did, I just decided, because they really pushed me into it. And I was like, well, okay, I guess I have to. And I was so shaky, and I didn't know how people will accept it, but the comments were so good. Obviously there were some not so good comments who came afterwards, but the comments, at least to my face, were really good. Some people are good at being trolls and writing, not nice comments after, but it's whatever. I don't care about them. How many men took photos of these heels? It's so, I was like, oh my God, I got geeks taking photos of my R2D2 heels, and it got, the conversation going, and they were really accepting. Like, the majority of them were accepting, and this is what's important. And it's important for, to highlight for yourself the amount of good feedback that you get, and not let the bad feedback or the not so good feedback get to you, because it's usually the amount. I love it. Sorry, I have to. Oh my God, Sophie, it's perfect. Wow. I love that. Okay. Yeah. I love it. You see what it creates a conversation. Like,
okay, we need to up I need to up my shoe game. Okay. Challenge accepted.
Yeah, or anything that makes you happy. I think that this is something that I learned, that I mean, even though I was stressed, and even though I didn't know how people will take that, and I had the support of my mentors. And here's the thing: these two mentors, they were women with a lot of experience, both in conferences and in their professional life. And I said to myself, okay, I should take their advice. If they've been speaking in all of these conferences, and they have all these years of experience, and they are telling me that they really think that it won't take away from my from the way that I appear on stage in a professional way, I said, okay, I just have to trust them. It's a matter of trust, So I trusted my mentors and I went with this trust, and it really worked. So yeah. That's why it's from the first one. And then I went crazy. Like, and now I wear whatever it's hard to follow. Like, I dyed my hair purple so for for the when I do the online talks, because I can't, it's not enough color. I can't do the heels thing. So I'm like, okay, it's gonna be purple. That's it.
It's really good to hear about the amount you're talking about, the mentors, and you can clearly just see just what an impact they've had on you. I think this is really something
Huge
that we
impact.
need to up in what we're doing is we've got a few, but I think, yeah, it's something that we could probably do a lot more of is having a lot more. Also, you mentioned having 2 mentors a few times. Do you think having 2 made a difference from just having 1? Do you think it had a big impact?
I think it was nice because, first of all, the workload, not that it's that much, but the load was, it was divided between the 2 of them. So sometimes if one of them couldn't, or then, the other took place or something like that. And it created a bigger conversation. Like, we had this, and it didn't last that long. Like, I got into the conference, and then after some time I talked with him a little bit more. And then, when I got confident enough, then I said, okay, thank you, and we stayed friends. But we had this, what the process was like this. We just had this WhatsApp group of the 3 of us, and this is where we could send some stuff, and it was a discussion rather than just me with another person. I don't know why. I loved it. I loved the fact that it felt like a group, and they were both supporting me. And sometimes I could hear 2 opinions at once about the same thing, and I got to choose. So it kept me still in control, but I got a lot of opinions from 2 professionals. And I think the mentoring part is, this made a huge difference for me. I used it a lot in order to get the confidence that I have. And I'm doing this today. So, by the way, if any of you ever needs or wants to talk with me, please, just feel free. I'll put my personal email over here. I don't mind even to put my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp is everywhere anyway, and I'm on my phone all the time anyway, so it doesn't matter. Just just approach and talk to me, because I really, really want to help to anybody who asks, and women. Sorry.
No, it's what's needed. Like, it's really it's what's needed. I think at the moment, I think everyone, men and women that we speak to, because we've got an aspiring speakers group and then a smaller sort of subsection of that group. Everyone has a similar story in terms of they need a push to get started. So everyone needs that kind of a mentor or somebody that will encourage them. But it's so clear that women have more barriers to overcome in that. We've spoken to a lot of people now, and like you say, people coming up and saying, "Oh, you're cute," and you're just like no, like, and so it's so there's other parts to deal with as well. So yeah, so that's fine. Okay, I'm all over the place because I'm listening and I haven't got all my questions straight. Has anyone else got any questions for me? Just while I line something up, feel free to unmute and ask away.
If you don't have any questions, then I want to talk about bad feedback. That's the thing that I think a lot of times, and I think it was one of the questions that you sent me earlier. So I think this is something that it scared me the most. I think it scares most people when they think about talking in front of an audience is bad feedback. So what does it mean? Okay, so what is bad feedback? Let's start with that, with asking what is bad feedback. So it goes, I can divide it into 2 things, right? So first is real feedback that you can use. Maybe you made a mistake, and that's the first scary thing, that you were wrong about something, and it's scary, right? The second part is just trolls. Okay, and that's also bad feedback by trolls. They didn't really have something important or good or contributing to say, but they said it anyway. They felt confident enough to say it, sometimes to your face, sometimes they raise a hand and ask you in front of everyone, and sometimes they will comment that on your YouTube video. So how do you deal with that? Let me start with the second thing, and then I'll talk about making a mistake. Okay, so first thing, trolls. Well, I guess you just learn to deal with them by ignoring them, and it's never easy to ignore. I don't really ignore completely. I'm not made out of stone. I'm a person, and when I read like a comment on YouTube that says like well, too long didn't read this, let me tell you that all she talked about was this, like, something like he's saying that he was trying to imply that the talk was too long, or it was I don't know, maybe boring or something like that. And he said, let me say, like, I think there was a comment like let me save you some time. She did not she was not able to learn closure fast enough, because I have a talk about how I learned closure. So somebody wrote, let me tell you what she's talking about. It was hard for her to learn closure. I'm like, okay, well, that's not, what do you want? Like, what am I supposed to do? This is the not contributing. I can't take anything from that other than just, why did you write that? And it's out there and it's written. So it's not like, somebody approached to me and told me your talk was boring. You just didn't say anything. I didn't learn anything. It wasn't like that. That's the first thing. And then there was also one time that I got somebody who raised his hand. I was in a machine learning conference in Munich. I did the same talk that I did about the project from college. And the topic is not completely machine learning. I knew that, okay? It was, it's like an algorithm that can be used in machine learning. It's like a side topic, right? And I wasn't keynote. They did invite me. I did not invite myself. So, and he raised his hand and he said in front of everyone, he said, like, full audience, right? He raised his hands and he said, well, I think that, first of all, I have two things to say. It wasn't a question. He just wanted to say. He said, first of all, the way that you solve things, well, I know at least 4 better ways to do that. Okay. And then he said, and second of all, your talk wasn't really about machine learning. Can you tell us why were you like invited or something like that? Not this blunt, but maybe something like that. He was like, can you tell us how it's related to machine learning? Like, and I was like, okay, well, I told him, well, listen, about the first comment, I like, even though it wasn't a question, let me tell you, and I'm shaking. I'm about to cry, first of all, because I wanted to cry. Why would you say that in front of everyone? That's not nice. And I was like, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to answer and I'm going to cry later. I'm going to call my friends and I'm going to cry later. But right now I'm going to answer. So I'm shaking and I'm sure that they could hear that in my voice, right? So I said, well, thank you for your feedback. And I couldn't believe that I said thank you, but whatever, that's what came out. And I said, thank you for your feedback. If you want to show me those other 4 ways, then let's talk after. I'm always happy to learn new things. That's how I got out of it. That's the first thing. And it shows that I think that it shows that I wasn't afraid to get feedback on what I did. And it's okay, we're developers. So what if if there were other good ways? And then I said to him, and the second thing is, well, from what I read is that this algorithm that I talked about, it's being used in machine learning. And sometimes it's good to have, mixed content. And that's why I think that they invited me. And that's it. So, just take this moment that I stood there. I just took a second and I let the audience see that I'm thinking about an answer, and it's okay because I'm a human, So I took a second, I breathed, and I was like, not gonna cry. I breathed, so I will stop the tears. And I was like, listen, if you want to show me later all your perfect ways of being better than me, show me. Like, no, I said it nicer, but And okay, so this is about bad comments. Just breathe and try to ignore it. It's not always easy. And if you cry, and then later on, remember that there are other people who enjoyed your talk for sure. Like, for sure, because statistically, it's not possible that 100% of the people hated your talk. It's not possible. Like, okay, that's it. That's the first thing. Second thing about being wrong, which I kind of said, but let me tell you this. I was wrong. Like I had a mistake in whatever. I don't remember which of the thing. And I got an email about that. Like both, I got it. There was someone who both sent me an email personally, and he also commented. Like after the conference, sometimes they let the people, the attendees, like fill in a form of what they thought about your talk, and most of the comments were good. Like I swear, like 90% were good. But what I had to concentrate on, obviously, I was like, no, I'm going to concentrate on those 3 comments who said not nice things. Like there was usually what they say about my talks is like the bad ones would be not technical enough. Well, I don't know what to say about that. It's all about code and algorithms. I don't know how it could get more technical than that, but okay. Or they say, somebody said too many jokes. And like, okay, I'm sorry if you don't want to laugh. Okay, go. What can I do with that? And then there was this guy that pointed out my my mistake, and I wanted to bury myself. But you know what happened? Nothing. I'm still alive. It's okay. Nothing happened. They still call me on to come talk at conferences. Okay, so there is somewhere there is a YouTube video of me making a mistake on stage. So what? Look, I'm fine. And that's the great news. Don't worry about it. So what if you'll make a mistake? That's it. That's the most important thing that I want you to take. These 2 things, like, so what if you'll make a mistake? So what if there are trolls? We don't care about them, or at least we don't care about them to their face. We will care, later when they don't get to enjoy it. Kind of.
With wine.
Yes. I'll be like, I don't care about what you say. I'm going to cry with my friends now. Like,
yeah, we've had a few people saying similar things in terms of receiving comments, negative comments. I'm sure it happens to a lot of speakers, and sometimes requiring therapy to get through that, or sometimes requiring a lot of time to get that confidence back. I think sort of the biggest thing that people can take is that almost everyone gets this, and as you said, I mean, it's great, the world keeps turning. I had one bit of negative feedback once in a group, and it was enough to ruin my week, in a Slack group. So I can't imagine being on stage and someone doing that, and how you'd handle it there and then. But hey, well done for
he had the confidence to raise up his hand and tell me this. I think the worst one, there was one that even that was worse than this guy. There was one this was my first conference abroad. It was one month after I joined the current company that I worked at. I work at AppsFlyer, and I work as a backend developer, and I learned Clojure. Clojure is a functional programming language, which is completely different from everything that I knew before, right? So I did a talk about how to learn Clojure, and how to deal with it, and I did a showcase on developing a 2D game, and somebody raised his hand, and again, like in front of everyone, but this was the first time that I'm abroad, right? I'm still shaky. I just joined AppsFlyer. I really, really want to prove them that it was worth it sending me to represent the company. And he said, well, I still don't get it. Like it was hard for you. He said something like it was hard for you, but for me it was fairly easy. I still don't understand what was so hard. And I've been talking for 40 minutes about what was so hard about it. And he raised his hand and he was like, I still don't get it. For me, it was very easy. And I was like, I answered not very calmly. I said, well, not everyone are like you. And some people are different. I am different. And then I said, and that's it. I got no other answer. So I wasn't as slick and, as cool as I wanted to be. I was like, okay, I'm not you, but okay, I guess all of the audience just got it that he was just being weird. And I don't think that I was the one who got out being weird. I think that I hope that they think the same as I do, that he was the one who's wrong and not me. So
absolutely. Thanks for sharing, by the way. I think it is one of those things that most people getting up on stage are that nervous about like, what would I say if somebody says this? You know, how would I handle that? And I think it's really, yeah, just really good advice. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Helen and Mag, I saw you had unmuted or hands up there. Helen, did you have something you wanted to?
I just wanted to know whether the guy found you afterwards to explain the 4 things or whether he just skulked off.
No, he never came. He never came by, obviously. Like
Shocker.
he just wanted to say,
He just wanted to be big.
yeah, and that's it. And he went away, and I really didn't care if he would show me, because
Well,
like
yeah,
I
of course,
said,
that's what.
there are people that came to me after my talks, because my talks, not my talks, I think every talk, it's one of the purposes of doing a tech talk is opening a conversation with other people from your field and talking about things that you've done or you achieved or ideas that you have. And then some people, they have such a good way, and you know what, they have an amazing way of coming to you and suggesting and showing you stuff and sending you links and sharing with you their ideas. And I would never get to have all these connections if I didn't do these talks, and it's just worth it, So this guy, I remember him most, but it's not fair because there are so many others that did so much for me, and in order for pure help or, for the real conversation. And I didn't mention them today, so it's not nice of me. You should know there's so a lot of good people out there. A lot.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Mag, did you have something you wanted to ask?
Yeah, I remember somebody wise once told me that, when people give negative feedback like that, some feedback can be critical and you can learn from it, as you said, but it could have been the Dalai Lama or somebody like as Zen, but it was about saying that those sorts of behaviors are more about their relationship with themselves than their relationship with you. So if that's anything that gives anyone comfort, then I just thought I would say it.
Yeah, so first of all, I love hearing that. I never thought about it this way. I always just say, stuff to myself about how it doesn't matter and how I'm still alive. Like, this is what comforts me. I don't know, like, everyone deals different with it, but thinking about it like this is actually a very good point. I like it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe for him closure was easy and other things were hard, and he will never go on stage with shiny heels.
Yeah,
love that.
the bar is high.
Okay, May, one question that came in, and I know you've answered this, or you've come at this from a slightly different angle, but just to ask directly to see if you had any other thoughts. Do you have any advice for women working in male dominant leadership companies?
Yeah. Find other women from your field and get in contact with them, because they have good advice most of the time, because we all go through almost the same things. And even if we're not going through the same things, they can always relate to what's going on. And once I found this amazing Facebook group, in the one that I joined in Israel, the one that got me into speaking, I really found a place that I could ask simple questions and also read, life events of others and see that what I was, stuff that I went through, and I thought maybe it's nothing. And then I got another angle about that. And I thought, and then, they gave me more confidence. So I think just joining with others, other women, that's the first thing that I would say. And the other thing that helped me is actually being a mentor. It helping other. So I am a mentor in 2 programs. First program is helping junior developers who graduated recently from college. I help them land their first job. All female again. I had one male because he was a friend, but again, all women. And so talking with them and all of a sudden explaining stuff, I got my confidence up high because I listened to my own words and I listened to stuff that I learned. And I was like, oh my God, I know all that? That's a lot. So this this got me to have a bit more confidence at work, and advices that I gave them, I actually used them later at work when I told them, you have to speak up. Like if you join a new company, then you should try to speak up in the first few times that you're there, because this is how they will start thinking about you immediately. And I said, even though it's really scary and you want to like just even ask a question, like just say anything, but go out there, start talking, even if you're the only woman there in the room, just ask a question, say something, let them hear your voice, know that it's there. And I was like, that's a good advice. I'm going to use that advice. And I did it myself. So first of all, I said, like, talking to others, and then also being a mentor. That's what helped me, I guess, most. And this is what I recommend. Being a mentor, or either for junior developers, you can always help someone. So either help a junior developer or help others to becoming a speaker after you talked in a few conferences. So that I do both. It really helped me a lot.
We had Daniel Bryant. I don't know if you know of Daniel Bryant, but we had him on a Q&A before, and he said often the best people to teach something are people that have just learned it, because it's all fresh and they remember the mental models they had to break through in Eureka's.
I love that take.
Yeah, I think it's great advice. So everyone here, give a lightning talk, and then tell other people to give lightning talks, basically.
Oh, lightning talks are perfect for a first talk. It's perfect.
Say more things like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because it's easy to do, to rehearse this. You can do 12 times in an hour if you rehearse your lightning talk. So it doesn't take a lot of your time, and there's not a lot of room for mistakes. It's just 5 minutes. How wrong can you be in those 5 minutes? Like, you really have to try to be wrong in those 5 minutes of your time, right? So that's why. And it's like, it's going to be over so fast. So even if you're nervous, it's okay, you're off stage already. Like, so I think lightning talks are perfect for starters.
There you go, Dom.
Yeah.
When is it coming, Dom? Is it December, your talk?
December the 11th, my talk that is currently non-existent. So
Good.
Yay!
You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
We're all behind you.
I just wanted to ask you about imposter syndrome. Again, I know it's something that you've kind of touched on or alluded to, but again, to tackle that directly, do you have any thoughts on imposter syndrome and what it's been to you and things?
Yeah, so the reason that I mentioned, it before, it's because it's a huge part of my life and a part of my journey. I can't really ignore it when I talk about stuff that I do. So like I said, it started, like, I think the worst point of my imposter syndrome was in job interviews when I started, and going, like I said, with that pants and black t-shirt, because I wanted to look more serious, and I wanted them to, I actually also bought fake glasses for the interview. I wrapped my hair in very tight, and no lipstick, no nails. I was like, I want them to believe me that I'm a geek, okay? That I'm a software engineer. I want them to believe me, even though I don't need them to believe me. I am a software engineer. I really got that thing, I have it. I worked hard to get it. I learned, I studied for all those years, but no, I had to buy fake glasses for the person there to believe that I'm a software engineer. And that was not the answer for the imposter syndrome. The answer for me, and I think it's really personal. I don't know if it's for everyone. For me, the answer was, again, being a mentor for others. And I started mentoring very early. Like, I still don't have bazillion years of experience. I only graduated like 3 or 4 years ago. But after I got my first job, I said, okay, I want to help others, because I went, and it was so hard for me to get into interviews, and not, I really wanted to cry after every interview. I keep telling you how much I cry. I'm not this whiny, but sometimes I am. I laugh more. Let's say it like that. Okay. so after I went, so for me it was a real nightmare. Job interviews. I really felt like they don't believe me, and I also it was related to the fact that I started my career in the very best way. I got fired twice, like in a row. When I was a student, I got a job at a startup, and the startup they fired me after a month because they closed the startup. And I did not think about how, like, who are you people who hire me and then you find out a month later, a month is nothing. Like, how come you found out a month later that you don't have enough money? And they fired everyone, not just me. But I was so devastated. I was like, did I ruin their startup? And I mean, who are you made to ruin a startup in 1 month? Like, you're not that talented yet, right? So and then I got another job at another startup, and they fired me after half a year, like after 6 months. And they were, they were pretty harsh with me. They were like, you did not stood up to the challenge. They literally told me that I was not good enough. And I told them that I gave my 100%. And they literally said like this: your 100% was not enough. This is a very good way to build your imposter syndrome if you want. Like, that's a great way to start your career, feel competent, and getting fired twice. And then I carried that with me for so long. And the only way that I was able to get rid of this feeling was after I started talking to mentees, and I found out that being fired actually taught me so much. It taught me to talk with my with my boss, ask him what is his expectations during the time that I'm there. It taught me to talk about difficulties that I have during the job, and to open up and say, hey, I got this task, it's kind of difficult, so it taught me so much. And it taught me that I'm still alive again, like, okay, I got fired twice, so what? I'm alive. It doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to keep being a software engineer. I did have some thoughts of being like, maybe I should get a hint, but then my friend was like, that's not a hint, just don't work in tiny startups with 3 people, and then work in normal companies, who gives you a real chance as a junior. Because as a junior developer, you have certain abilities and some things you can't do. So just, so this is what helped me most: being a mentor, being a mentor, helping others. It helped me so much, really. I cannot describe.
I can't tell you how much I relate to as well with that. I was fired, I mean, upward of 10 times early on in my career as well. A story for another day, I'm sure. But it teaches you resilience, doesn't it? It teaches you, as you say, I think I might have cried the first time I was fired, but by the end I was fired and I was arguing with the person that was trying to fire me to try and convince them. And it does, it teaches you that resilience and that the world doesn't end and all that kind of thing. I think great lessons. It really is. And this mentoring thing as well. I think we've heard this a lot because we do a lot of mentor introductions, and it's only when you start trying to teach others that you realize what you know, and then that self-confidence that grows with that. So yeah, it's cool. We've not done enough on the mentoring side of this group, but yeah, this has inspired me to probably go.
I volunteer if you need mentors. I'll tell you what I tell all my mentees, like, just imagine that I'm bored and I got nothing else to do. So give me stuff to do.
Yeah, amazing. I like that. Okay, Sam, did you have a question you wanted to come in with?
Yeah, so who's your role model in terms of, I suppose, career development and also speaking?
Sorry, Sam, lost the audio a little bit on that. Who's your
a role model in terms of career development and also speaking career?
So a role model in terms of career development and your speaking career?
Yeah.
I didn't hear the question, if there was, because it was all disconnected for me.
Oh, so Sam was saying, who is your role model? Do you have a role model in terms of your speaking career and career development?
So speaking, I think I don't have one. I just love watching mostly TED Talks I'll tell you a secret. I'm not a big fan of tech talks. I like it's hard for me to find. I'm super ADHD. It's hard for me to sit and listen for too long. So if the talk is not going fast enough, I'm not going to make it to the end. So there are only if not, some number, and the ones that I did like, I keep them aside, and I have a list of the ones that I loved and the ones that actually contributed to me. So I can't say that I have someone that I aspire to be like in terms of speaking. But in my professional career, so I don't think yet about being a manager or anything like that. I kind of want to develop in being like a tech lead. Like I think about it in 5 years, I want them to announce me when I go on stage, like, this is May, she's a tech lead. And that's what, like, I really, really dream of on being one, because when you're a tech lead, like it's people just know that you know stuff. Again, you see the imposter syndrome there. I want people to know that I know stuff, right? But so I have a lot of people that I look, up to, that I can't say one name. I have a lot of other people. It's people from my everyday, nothing famous really, just people from my everyday that I aspire to be like them, and that I'm trying to learn as much as I can from them, trying to, get closer to them, being like, tell me more. Like, I want to know what you know. But yeah, so that's it, I guess. So nobody famous, just people from my everyday that I really aspire to be like them, because I see how good they do. Let's see.
Sam?
I see questions in the chat.
Yes, we've got, are you dreaming
okay.
about changing something huge in this world with technology?
I don't know. I think what's most important for me is to change the numbers, like, to have as more women in tech. And I don't know if it's not about the technology, because I think that there are enough people who are dealing with that. And I am more into the human part. So, because sometimes I talk with my mentees, and I've heard sad things, like they said that they wanted to stop trying, or they thought about, even though they are a software engineer, they, like, I've had a few of those, that they thought about going to other profession, like changing their career, because they didn't get a job yet, and it got them into thinking that maybe they are, they don't fit. So I find it more, so it's more important to me personally to help, on the human side, and to change. And I believe it's huge too, not just technology is huge. I believe that there are enough people who deal with that,
May, if it's okay to ask a question kind of on that, which is something that I'm personally really interested in.
Yeah.
And you're talking about changing the numbers, and especially being a woman in tech, those numbers. Something I'm really interested in is algorithms in AI and machine learning, and how we introduce the bias that exists in the current world. And have you had any experience of programming algorithms to reduce bias and to bring more equity to the technology that we're creating, which is often created by mostly white male teams?
So I love what you mentioned at the end of the question, because yesterday I just so one of my mentees, she's doing a talk about this. I didn't actually deal with this kind of algorithms, or didn't try. But she had a talk about bias, and she had two, I think that they are famous stories about this. Like, one is about the Apple credit card. Do you guys know about it? Like, how, so that Apple, they had like a credit card or some kind of payment card that they issued. And so people, actually Steve Wozniak, which is the one of the founders of Apple, he wrote in Twitter how he has the same cash flow like his wife, and he got 20 times bigger credit allowance than what she got. And when he contacted Apple, they started by telling him that this is how it is and it's not reversible. And then they, transferred him, and it's Steve Wozniak. Like, what is going on here? Like, how come, and he wrote that in Twitter, and then some other people from Apple or from other companies they also wrote how it happened to them too. The other sad story, which for me, I think it hurts even more, is how Amazon had their recruiting system, biased against women's profiles, and they got less, like, women with the same qualifications didn't get as interviews when, like, a man got the same interview. Like, you know what I meant. Like, I got mixed with the words, but you know what I meant, I guess. And this was, oh my God, this killed me when she talked about it. And she said that one of the things that she suggests is, like you said, to have a diverse teams, that it starts there, because somebody who cares about it in real life, they will care enough to make sure that their algorithm matches what they care in life. And right now, we don't trust AI enough. Like, if I'll tell you to go into a complete autonomous car, go inside. But I'll tell you, look, this car only made one mistake once. Would you go inside? I don't think so. You wouldn't trust this car. But if I'll tell you that I did an accident once, but I was still driving, you'd still come up with me on the car, right? You'd still come on a ride with me, even if I told you that I did once, a mistake on the road. So we don't trust these machines yet. And there's a reason for that, because they know that they don't match reality yet. We know that it's very advanced, but we're not there yet. And I believe that it's because some opinions are missing. And these opinions will still be missing if the teams won't be diverse enough, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I agree. And I think I was talking to some friends about this yesterday, and I think as women who have such influence in society in a lot of ways, especially more in the current society with children and the next generations coming up, and especially, women like you in speaking terms and tech leading, I think the responsibility is on us a lot, and the allies that we have, such as Barry and Dom and Mel and Helen, to actually take the space up and to, because of our experiences, to highlight other people whose characteristics aren't being valued in the same way. I think it's vital that we kind of drive the change as well.
Yeah, I think so too. I have to tell you something. So when I just started my career, I used to go to work, and I always felt that I am too much. Like, I laugh too much, I am too much, like, I talk too much, everything too much. I felt just too much in general all the time. And once I just talked about it, with a colleague, I was like, am I too much? I like, is this too much? Am I too much? Is this, because I don't feel the same as everyone, like the general developer with the t-shirt. And maybe I should try to be more like the general developer with the t-shirt, because maybe I'll feel better. I don't know. And they said, no, this is what makes lunch like fun, because we have different people. And if everyone is sitting with the same t-shirt, it's just not interesting. You know what I mean? But it took me time to understand the value that I bring, like, as being, and I'm not that different. I'm just, I'm whatever. I'm not that unique. I'm just loud, I guess. Not loud. I don't know. I talk a lot. So it took me time to appreciate that, and to think, like, when I go into interviews, to think like, okay, if I don't feel that I fit in, maybe I don't want to be there, because I did fit in already in a few places, and there are places that I fit in just the way I am. And this is what's very important for everyone. Just, find a place that you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable in somewhere, it doesn't necessarily mean that you really, really have to be there. Maybe you just don't need to be there at all, and that's it. Like, you don't always have to fight it. make yourself feel comfortable everywhere. Sometimes it's okay to just say, okay, maybe I don't have to be there, and that's it, you know?
While this
And I
topic's open, sorry, Mag, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
no, go ahead, Barry.
I'm just wondering. I know we're closing on time as well, but I'm just wondering what can be done in your opinion. Like clearly very, very passionate about the cause, but we have, so we've probably got communities of, I don't know, 10,000 people that we can organize. We've proven with this group that we can actually make a difference, put mentors together with people. What is missing that it needs more of? What specifically can we do that could help here?
I think just that. I don't have any crazy ideas other than just doing what you do is what I see makes the difference. Like, because the mentoring of the one-on-one, and also having those little groups talking, and if just because you do it like in tiny amounts every time, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have its effect. Because think about it, every time that you helped someone in this community, they will keep that in their mind and they will pass it forward. So maybe this will take a little time to see the impact, but the impact is on its way. Like, it's coming. I know it. I see it. I know, because I am helping others after I was helped, and I'm sure that every person who got help in their life, they would want to pass it forward. Like, I really believe it. So what you're doing is amazing. Just keep on doing that, and don't take numbers as the measure. Just look at the people that you're helping and know that this is being good.
Okay, that's good, and I like it, but I still think I want to take it up a notch if we can. Like, Dom and I organize events, and we talk a lot about people on events. If I now said, right, who wants to give me a talk on Graal VM, for example, within the LJC, I can guarantee we'd get 4 or 5 straight white guys come forward and offer a presentation. So we have to work that much harder to try and balance that diversity.
That's true.
And I'm like, that's fine, but I'm kind of, so what the Aspiring Women Speakers group is trying to come at that problem sort of within 3 years. Hopefully it'll be easier because we'll have a lot more people that we could go to. But I'm just wondering if there's anything else that we can do that kind of just speeds it up, that accelerates that process, that means that when we ask, we've got 3 white guys or 5 white guys still, but also 3 women as well, and the same is true in race and in all different kind of groups, trying to do what we can. And I'm just interested if there's anything from your perspective, from your experience, from dealing with your mentors, anything more that we could do in this space that could accelerate it.
I think so. First of all, there is one regarding speakers specifically. There is a website of a friend of mine that she developed. I don't know if you know it. It's called Women on Stage. And in Women on Stage, by the way, everyone who wants to become a speaker, or if you want to see other women speakers who are very successful, you can check out Women on Stage. They have a list of a lot of, I am not there yet, which is not good, but I will do it. I will do it. Procrastinating is my thing, but I will sign up. So there's a list of professional women speakers there, and so you can look there for more women who knows more things. And just by the fact that you do this extra mile in order to find a woman who will talk about Graal VM, that's amazing. That's the thing. That's it. That's the impact. Like, sometimes I think just doing this extra mile is good enough. Like, always think about how you can do better, but you should also appreciate what you do. What you're doing is amazing. I went to this conference once, and one of the organizers, I'm sure he meant well, but he said that every time that he see a woman who submitted a talk, he will always treat it differently. He will always, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be treated differently. And he said, I will always accept it. And I was like, and I'm standing there at the conference. And I'm sure he meant well. I'm sure he wanted to be nice and to show me that he's enthusiastic. And I gently said that I think that it's nice, but I think that he should also make sure that the talk is actually good. Nobody, I don't think that any professional, neither like men or women, nobody wants to be accepted to anything if they don't actually deserve it, because you always feel better about something that you actually achieved if you actually worked for it, rather than just being given, you know. The real feeling of achievement is by this. So you looking for speakers who actually for GraalVM, and you know, you're looking for something that is good and it makes a difference. I think this is the best way, and you're not just being, let's just find some women who will talk here. I think this is a great approach.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. And I think what you were saying earlier about the mentoring as well, I think we can double down on that and really try and drive that up. So
yeah,
mate, thank you so much for this.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. You've seen some of the comments here, inspirational.
Yeah, I see.
So
amazing. Yeah. I'm so happy, and thank you again for having me.
Bro, thank you, and we'll see you all next time.
Yay! Bye.
Thanks a million. Have a great day.
Yay! Bye.
Bye.